10 seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the ESL One Hamburg SA Qualifiers. We have SG Esports going up against Team Unknown. This is Game 2. After Game 1, SGE, well, they crushed Unknown, and I think that's really all there is to it. It was a slaughter, it wasn't pretty, so here's hoping that Unknown make the series a little bit more interesting. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Gvicus for this second game. Bane Nyx, dude. I love me some Bane. What do you think?
I think you love you some Knicks as well, man. First picks though, I mean, Bane, he's really good. Lane support, Knicks, roaming. Like, the bans and the picks came out so fast. Like, you've no idea. Like, there's still that respect ban coming from SG Esports on the Broodmother. You don't want to see that. They took the Nature's Prophet out, and the Lich was banned like straight up by Unknown, and then they grabbed the Spirit Breaker this time around and the Keeper of the Light. So I mean, already Unknown's team's draft looks a lot more meta than their last one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, SA teams love Spirit Breaker, first of all. We haven't seen that much coddle from these SA qualifiers, from all these tournaments that are running. Like, we've seen a lot of SA teams battle it out, and coddle hasn't really been on the top of the pick list. But I guess, to be fair, nor has Bane. We've seen very, very few Banes in the past week. Like, probably count it on one hand, the number of Banes you see. And I mean, it makes sense with their first round of bans. Like, you want to take out these pushing heroes that you need AoE to deal with, because Bane does not do AoE. But we'll see what SG Esports actually have in order to make this Bane pick warranted, because not only is it a Bane pick, but it's also a Bane first pick. And I'm pretty sure, like, in 100% of the games, you can get Bane fifth.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real PPD hero, and King's Cup was just on. I just wonder if they're taking some direction from their northern bros.
I wouldn't be surprised. It is still just a super long lockdown spell, that grip, and of course nightmares to keep someone out of that fight. You can manage the lanes very well, as you mentioned. Bane is definitely one of the stronger pokers in the game. He's deceptively tanky, even without considering brain sap. Like, his just starting health pool is like up there, like probably top 5 intelligence heroes health pools, like behind like Ogre Magi, Darkseer, Batrider. Like, Bane is really, really difficult to deal with, and if you're talking about like getting into a fist fight with coddle doesn't have a chance, man.
Yeah, that's not going to be a trade-off that he's going to want to do. On top of that as well, Bane, with his ability to reduce the right-click damage, can really mess up people's laning phases as well. So even if you put him into the off lane, he can negate some of that last hit ability, especially if you want to win in last hitting.
Combos up pretty well with the Nyx Assassin as well. Nightmare into Impale. A pretty nice way of making sure you land that combo. And SG also grabbing now the puck. We've seen Leposa take this hero towards the off lane. I want to say more often than ADR going toward mid with the hero. So I think we can assume that that's going to be the lane setup right now. For SGE, it's just a lot of pick-off power. Like, you have the Nyx Assassin and the puck who behave very similarly in how they want to pick off the enemy heroes. A hero like Invoker for ADR for the mid lane would just put the icing on the cake. Just Sunstrike after a grip, or Sunstrike to wake you up out of a nightmare. Not fun. So Unknown, they don't really have, many offensive choices themselves outside this already Spirit Breaker, which is great, but not really versus puck. Spirit Breaker has very little game versus the puck.
Oh, but we're gonna get a Venomancer. I mean, that with wards and stuff, I don't know if it's enough. They're only gonna have Puck, who's gonna be blinking in at the moment. Visage is gonna be mid for sure, right?
There's a chance that we have a safe lane Visage or an offensive tri-lane. Again, Bane is the muscle here for supports. And Nyx Assassin maybe doesn't do as much damage because he doesn't have the range, but he's very, very difficult to kill off because of his armor, because of his regen. I could see an offensive tri-lane working out pretty well for SGE, knowing that, hey, coddle is going to be in that lane. We can kill a coddle, and my god, can they kill a coddle. If Venomancer's there, they can kill off a Venomancer as well. So we got some serious options here for SG Esports. And for the Unknown side, it's a little bit too late to really change things. Like, they're going to pick up a DK, which is going to help them push quite a bit with the Venomancer. Like, they now have the ability to take down towers, but this first 5 levels of the game, Unknown will just be wrecked by SG Esports. The early game is no comparison.
10 seconds remaining.
The Dragon Knight's gonna be mid, right?
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't think I've seen DK anywhere else.
Is that anticipating that the...
I mean, you kind of want to have the DK match up against the Puck, just because Puck doesn't have quite enough damage to seriously threaten the DK. Like, he has the armor, he has the regen, he has bottle regen, probably. So, you kind of want that matchup for Unknown, but, I mean, we've already seen SG just put on a clinic with what was supposed to be an unfavorable matchup, but they just wrecked it anyway, so I'm not really sure.
No, well, they swapped the lane immediately, so it then became a favorable matchup. Like, they were able to identify, and it was like a minute to change lanes, not even, like 45 seconds. They didn't lose anything out.
Yeah, I was talking about the mid lane of Ember versus OD. ADR crushed that one.
Yeah, he really, yeah, you're right. Actually, 100%, you're right. There's no way he should have won that lane. But I mean, their Roman was really good. The Spirit Breaker was really on form. Come on, he was everywhere.
Yeah, I want to say Theo is this time going to handle the Nyx assassin, unless they do something weird. Again, I'm just working off the assumption it's going to be if it's a tri-lane, could be an off-lane Nyx, a mid-puck, and Visage support with a Bane, and they're just looking for another safe lane hero. Like, these are still options for the SG Esports side. Drow Ranger can actually destroy Unknown now. Like, it's going to be real tough to defend against that. Enchantress is the pick, though, for the Unknown side, and we've seen Enchantress go mid a handful of times, but that really requires a good matchup, a very light burst lineup on the other end, and this definitely is not one of those matchups. So, where's this Enchantress actually going? Is it an off-lane Ench for Unknown? That seems not that bad, honestly, if it's just going to be a 1v1 matchup.
It does allow the Spirit Breaker to roam more freely, if he doesn't have to worry about the bottom lane getting, you know, even if she gets dived, her spirits should heal her up under the tower. I mean, I've seen a lot of a sort of mid Chantresses in FPL recently, but I'm not sure how many of those were played by South American teams.
I saw DCSA run a mid lane Enchantress, and she whooped Viper in mid lane, and that was kind of cool because Viper's not supposed to lose lanes, like, ever, and he got smashed. For SGE, though, their last pick, currently know that Unknown want to be playing more aggressively, at least versus those towers. I think they could definitely fight fire with fire. Again, I'm going to put out that Drow pick for the SG Esports side. Will be very difficult for Unknown to actually deal with. Going for a Luna and Alchemist is instead going to be picked up for ADR, so it looks like SG Esports still with this aggressive power, but are going to hit the brakes just a little bit. They aren't going to go all in aggressive power.
I mean, I like the dry pickup. That would have been something else. They're like 4 of their heroes are right click. Bane already hits really hard. Getting Puck some extra damage and Visage some extra damage. The birds get it as well. Oh my god.
Right. I think the Alchemist is a reasonable pick as well. Like, his counter push is kind of slow. Yeah, you might have to deal with that when Unknown come and knock in with big Enchantress creeps, and Dragon Form DK Acid Spray isn't really going to be doing a lot, but the Alchemist kind of balances out the Visage. Like, when you run a core Visage, your mid game is so powerful, but moving forward to the late game, it is sometimes difficult, unless you're already far ahead, to stay ahead, simply because you don't carry in the traditional fashion. You don't get a lot of right-click damage. It's all about your familiars, it's all about your tank ability. But that doesn't really matter when you have an Alchemist on your side. Like, so the power curve of SG right now is very much so smoothed out with this Alchemist pick. I think that Unknown, like, if they didn't get thrashed in Game 1, if this was a fresh Game 1, fresh series, I think their draft has a pretty good shot here for out-aggroing this Alchemist. But after Game 1, it's hard for me to say the same.
Yeah, I think their draft's stronger this game than it was last game. I don't know if it's quite enough. And like you say, I've got reservations because the SG Esports seem to be like on another level in the last game. But we'll see. There's no Lich this time around. Spirit Breaker's on the other foot. We'll see what the story is.
Alchemist is looking pretty pimpin'. I don't know what... I mean, I guess Alchemist gets a lot of gold. That's why he gets all these cosmetics. But it seems like all of his cosmetics are like the exact same. Just him being literal pimpin'. Just weird, man. It's weird to see in Dota, but Unknown... Yeah, we'll see if they can get an advantage in their lanes. I think that's really the best shot they have. Like, still early game Venomancer. Incredibly potent laning hero. Talking about a core enchantress for the off lane right now will be maybe difficult up against what SG have, which is why I was on the fence about it before. But they have the Spirit Breaker, as you said, so SG, they have a lot more risk going into this level 1, as they do have a roamer in Theo, the Nyx Assassin. They do have very powerful lanes, but can they actually respond to a Spirit Breaker? That's really the concern. A mid lane Alchemist is something that you can and will be willing to charge into very often.
Yeah, man. Before he gets out, he's just as much food as anyone else.
You got a lot of stun duration there. Charge of Darkness, immediate Dragon Tail, maybe an Illuminate. It's a lot of control, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be enough damage every single time. Especially once this poor man's shield is built by the Alch. This is also just going to make the lane for SG, this Alchemist pick, really nasty for the DK, who's, again, I'm assuming is going to be going mid. DK is really a passive laner, and Alchemist loves that, man. Alchemist doesn't want to be challenged in lane. He doesn't want to be taking right clicks. It looks like I may have to ditch that point because ADR is actually going towards top right now. I'm pretty sure he'll swing back around because who else is going to be taking mid? This Visage.
Well, he's gonna get the rune, but
Yeah.
I know I totally was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, so Spirit Breaker comes into gank, he does his bash, you do the bash you do the stun from the Dragon Knight. Now what? You know, like the Alchemist's on high ground, he walks away, eats a tango, pops a salve, and continues farming.
ADR. Gonna give him this bounty rune instead of the one in the, I guess, East Secret Shop area. Posta, in the meantime, just by himself, taking a gander in the enemy jungle is gonna place.
Oh, gank top.
Okay. Oh, we'll see if this works. Then they get 2 bounty runes. The Alchemist. The only problem is that Alchemist is pretty much forced to get Greevil's Greed. I mean, that's super standard, and they'll find the Enchantress. That's the perfect target because she has so little HP. Impale combo is perfect. They have the Grave Chill. They have the right click. Illuminate Breathe Fire can do quite a bit of damage back towards them as this Visage is now going to get beaten down. First blood will be drawn by Team Unknown, but Alchemist slides in from the back and jacks the rune. Theo will fall as Red Moon's still alive thanks to those sprites. A triple kill for the DK as Space Created is called out by Theo. I mean, maybe, debatably, perhaps, kind of, but let's be honest, not really. That's going to be like an instant bottle for the DK. ADR does end up grabbing 2 of those bounty runes, but I'm pretty sure it is not worth.
The pure genius there to pick up Breathe Fire, which reduced the attack damage of all 3 heroes that were in amongst there. I just allowed them to clean them up. They had no right click to do anything.
There was a very setup heavy opening there from SG. Like, Nightmare wasn't really able to do its full damage, which actually does quite a decent amount of damage if you let it tick. But they were just looking to set up for the Impale, which landed, but then Grave Chill immediately after. Again, all this control, no real damage coming out of these SG heroes. And as you said, once the Breathe Fire comes out, the damage reduction is definitely underrated as far as that spell is concerned. Just means that you don't have any more lane. So it's going to be a really good start for the Unknown side. But still, this problem is going to be here. The fact that Visage, once he does get level 3, his nukes are going to be intense. And oh, they actually found the Coddle on the bottom lane. A couple more right clicks. The post is going to orb forward. And Coddle, you're dead. A little bit too aggro versus a Puck. You cannot trade hits with the Puck as a Keeper of the Light. You just don't have the damage. ADR. Breathe Fire damage reduction is going to be quite annoying for him. But again, this is a passive lane. This is a lane where he's not really going to be aggroed all that much, especially if his allies are causing a lot of havoc in the other lanes. So CS-wise, I expect ADR to get most of them. Zul's actually taking a lot of damage up towards top. Soul Assumption, not up yet. Actually, it's only level 1 Visage. That's, how is Bane such a higher level than the Visage? Actually going to catch Red Moon out with a couple right clicks. Brain Sap instead of the Nightmare, but they now have the Soul Assumption. They'll get the kill. As Zul's going to turn around back into the lane, but this is a Bane we're talking about. He needs like 3 or 4 consecutive bashes to get that kill.
He must have got it from a big jungle creep or something. But, I mean, it's only been stacked twice. The bounty room's still there. I don't know, man.
That's the threat of this SG Esports top
Maybe
lane.
he died less and TP'd to lane first before the Visage. Maybe when they died together. Maybe he died earlier.
Well, at any rate, they'll have their nukes up. It's only a dual lane there. Visage now level 3. We'll take a look at this bottom lane. They did kill off the Coddle earlier. Laposa kind of muscling down this Venomancer and Coddle dual lane. There are a grand total of 0 stuns here. The stuns are actually going towards mid, where ADR gonna get charged, yes. But again, there is not enough damage to actually seal the deal here on this Alchemist. So with the bottle, he'll get back up to a decent amount of HP. But this bottom lane, Laposa, again, just bullying this Venomancer. Can he actually get this kill? There's 6 stick charges. So he should be fine. He does get hit with the Gale, but he does dodge the Illuminate. This is not supposed to be a lane where Puck is smashing. I mean, yeah, there's no way to kill a Puck, but still they should be able to keep him down a little bit further than they are right now. So that's, you know, a lane on lock for SG. You got mid lane, which is going swimmingly, and top lane, which I guess is being contended by Red Moon and now his Fresh Hellbearer. But is he actually convincingly beating this lane by the same margin as this Puck? He's definitely not.
I mean, the Vino has gone 1-1-1 skill build. I mean, just because of the lane pressure, I think he wants the ward. I think against the Puck, maybe more points of Venomous Gale, just to wreck him. So when he does come in, even if he blinks out or whatever, he's still going to be giled up and suffering for it.
Posa is going to see the charge coming, will phase shift dodge it. Zul ends up slipping right through anyway. Theos takes a lot of damage, including a Greater Bash, and that's going to be a kill. Affirmative from Laposa. There's Nyx Assassin ditching that Impale rather early on. Just trying to, I guess, cover for his ally, but, I mean, you can't stun a Puck as Spirit Breaker, like, ever, so a little bit of a super reactive play there from the SG side. Going to be punishing, and over towards mid lane, they're going to set up towards ADR. Does have a bottle right now. They need a Bash or a Dragon Tail. They have a Dragon Tail. That's going to be the kill with a couple more right clicks. No help coming in for the DK. And for Unknown, they're starting to strike back. They have themselves a Dragon Form. They have themselves a free tier 1 tower to start chipping down. And Alchemist being taken down is big game. And Zul's going to start charging up towards top. Visage will see it and back off. But these lanes for SG, I thought there would be a little bit with a little bit more kill power than what we're currently seeing from them. Not really many kill attempts from their side.
I mean, great first usage of the first Dragon Form, gets a kill on Alk, keeps him from his level 6 for that period of time, then manages to do a bit of tower damage, just less than half health. That's Alchemist got 6 now, though.
Alchemist, though, he is at a point in his game where he can leave the lane purely jungle. Jungle have a couple of stacks up for him. You obviously do want the level 4 Acid Spray if you can, simply because you get the extra AoE, which is quite nice for farming. But this is the point where SG can kind of shuffle out these heroes, put the Alk in the jungle, put a different hero in the mid lane, and then try to maximize their gains. Over towards top, charge onto this Visage to be responded to with a Brain Sap on a Red Moon. Soul Assumption, though, only level 1. Visage just interested in lane control, not really going for these kills. Red Moon is going to, well, go in with Zul once again. There is the sprites up. This is level 2. They get a Greater Bash onto the Visage. He has 3 stick charges, needs a Grave Chill to come out like yesterday. Too late, he's dead. So he's going to get quite a bit of healing from Red Moon's sprites as well. We got Theo coming in with the Haste Rune. But the charge back in onto the Bane with the Brain Sap. They will kill off that cow. Can they kill off Red Moon? 2 points untouchable, and he is indeed untouchable. Can't do anything about him. So Unknown are getting a lot going for themselves right now. Lots of kills on their side, and really making all the right moves with the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows this, it showcases Spirit Breaker, especially in this kind of meta. And all this early fighting, and Spirit Breaker can be there for every single Greater Bash.
We also have a DK, another Dragon form available to him. Immediately he's going to put it up. Can't kill off ADR, doesn't have the proper support necessary, and Chemical Rage, so it's not going to happen. We can see ADR, he really can't do much about this. Like, his tower is just going to take that chip. And now another charge is coming in, but I'm not really sure if that's going to work out. They have a level 4 Breathe Fire. Just enough mana to cast both spells, but he's going to be spotted on the incoming.
Still has a good 10-15 seconds on this Dragon form.
He hit the tower like 2 or 3 times already. They've actually forced the Venomancer out of the lane, and he's just pure jungling right now. Level 5 Veno versus level 6 Puck.
Puck wrapping around this Veno here.
Foil dodges the Gale, is gonna miss the silence, but still gets the kill. Maybe. Charge coming in, phase shift is gonna dodge it. Needs just line of sight, gets bashed in, and chain stun. Here comes Bane to kill off the Venomancer from the side, but that's a really nice turnaround there. Puck unfortunately overshooting with that orb, can't get the Veno. And yeah, Veno is behind the Puck for sure, but Venomancer jungle is actually pretty rapid if you're able to get these points of the Plague Wards up. So recovery, definitely in line for him, and another great move by the Unknown side. Just getting these pickoffs from SG, who are feeling themselves a little bit too much, especially towards the mid lane where Alchemist gonna be charged up, has Armlet to play with, but no Chemical Rage mana. You gotta pop Chemical Rage, you gotta pop a bottle. Why are you not doing either? He's gonna get some help from the Familiars. 1 stun, 2 stun, but the Rainbows come in. Bardino's here with the Brain Sap, and they will put a quick end to Red Moon. Can they get anyone else? Grave Chill was already used onto the DK. Are they really trying to go for the DK here? Zul's gonna charge back in towards the Visage. Just try to buy a little bit of space. Nick Assassin coming in from the south. Zul is on the run. He has another charge soon. He's gonna get cut off to the north by Theo. 1 stun, 2 stun, Brain Sap, and a Soul Assumption, you're dead. Ultimately, they do kill off the Alchemist, and that is a huge game for Team Unknown. The DK actually has more net worth than the Alch, with another tower, with the first tower rather, to their advantage. But again, SG making them work for it this time.
Yeah, he just popped the Dragon form as soon as it came off cooldown, and right-clicked the tower a couple of times.
Pushing the top lane. He's gonna phase shift the charge. Dragon Tail, not in range. Can't quite land it. SG right now, they have to find a better way of responding to these aggressive moves. Obviously with the Dragon Knight, this is what you want to do. Push down towers 24/7. And SG, Laposa is gonna reveal himself. Again, is gonna dodge the charge, but Coil TP is not gonna work up against this DK. It might because he's now melee, but it's way too late. Not really sure why Puck did that. Another tower for the DK. Probably will just look to rinse repeat in the next 30 seconds when he has another one. For SG, this is still quite valuable time for ADR. Gotta get this farm up as the Alchemist, but this game, unlike the last, is a game where the friendly cores for SG don't really have a ton going for them. Yeah, Visage has quite a bit in the experience department, but as far as offensive power concerns, going for only 1 point Soul Assumption, opting instead again for this utility slow of the Grave Chill. I would say most of the time is a fine build, but up against an Enchantress, up against a DK, like, I feel like you really just need that burst damage of Soul Assumption.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's supposed to be enabling the Alchemist in this period of time from now for the next 15 minutes or so, and that's why he's going for like Solar Crest first, I presume. And his items are a wee bit weird, as far as he's not really committing to anything at the moment.
Just hunting with Theo on this bottom lane for right now. The top lane being pushed. The DK will be driven back, but he does have an armlet to match that of the Alk. For SG, really just have to make sure to limit their losses. It's not really about striking back, although they will find an opportunity on the bottom lane. Venomancer chilled up. One stun, second stun familiar. It's a little bit off, but they still will get the kill. Another strike is up now for Zul. Gets an extra Greater Bash, and that'll kill off the Visage. Theo now on the run, has a TP out. He has an Impale, lands it onto 2, immediate TP. Charge is here, but the stun lasts for too long. And the Knicks will make a close escape. Again, limit the losses here for SG. They aren't exactly where they want to be with this Alk draft, but they're not that far off, honestly. Like 3k gold towards the Relic. That's not bad.
Yeah, progress has been made. I think we'll see that Radiance finished by about 15 minutes most, maybe, dependent, as long as he doesn't get ganked down. Oh, Dragonite.
There's a
top.
Sap, a Nightmare. Charge is coming in. Bardinho is actually going to get a little bit... Oh, never mind. It's straight back to the base. Someone else was teleporting. So that didn't work out, but... yeah, just make sure you don't die. That's what SG should be looking for right now. If they can get kills, fine. If not, just try to avoid that death. Theo and Visage still in this bottom lane, though. There is a sentry here, so Vendetta for the next Assassin, though it is up. Can't really do all that much for it. They are leaving Leposa on this top lane, just trying to gun for that Blink Dagger. Theo will find the Venomancer, but still has very little backup here. And Venom, with this jungle speed, is actually getting a lot of cash. Hand of Midas, maxed out on the Plague Wards means his jungling is incredibly quick. This is not something you can really afford to ignore. Like, it's not Alchemist levels of farm, but it's still pretty respectable, especially when his team is taking down towers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think they want him to try and just catch up to his XP talent as soon as possible. Hopefully that'll then catapult him back into, you know, somehow being relevant. Because at the moment, I mean, he's pretty far behind the DK and the Alk.
Dire structures are fortified.
Well, the Leposa Puck does have a Blink Dagger. Despite that, I still don't think that SG are ready to take this engagement on a DK. Unless he's significantly weakened beforehand, like right now. Like, now they would go in. They would love to go in on a half HP DK. Theo will set up for it. Sentry Ward up to the left. It's not going to help them against this Vendetta, which is now coming in along with the Familiars. Charge coming in, though, will stun both the Visage and the Nyx. Another strike out. Spirit Breaker's going a little bit too far here. Impale does land onto the Enchantress. Mana burn, and she's out of mana. ADR, though, is coming in. They've taken down the Venomancer off to the left. Now chasing forward for a little bit more. I'm not really sure if they can find anyone. They're a little bit too far. DK is going to be spotted on his way out. Puck, they'll already use the coil. Not really the largest gains, although they'll find Zul. Grip? There's no grip. There's a Nightmare. There's a Brain Sap, and maybe with this Impale, there's actually no one else coming in, so they just can't kill him. He has a charge out. Although he does get Spike Carapace, so they can kill him, actually. With just Chase Down and Brain Sap, Zul has to pull out something miraculous here. Maybe they both hit with a Gale. Or maybe it's just Bane hit with the Gale with another right click. That is going to be that. They do Nightmare the Venomancer, but a quick TP out from Bardinho. We'll get him back to the fountain, and we'll keep him alive. As ADR is going to find, along with the Puck, that DK. Minus armor with the Acid. Right clicks, Armlet, and a Regen Rune is up on the DK. He is not an easy kill. So Theo's going to ditch that. Go for an Impale on the Veno and completely whiff. They will back off. Alchemist with the fresh Radiance actually starting to join the fights, and now for SG, now is about the time when they can start challenging Unknown on equal footing. Leposa, and it's Theo actually in the most trouble. There better be Dust here. There's no Dust here. Guys, you gotta carry Dust. Dust is good up against Nyx Assassin.
It doesn't do any damage.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it did?
Just 15, that's all it needs to be, man. Everyone's got that.
No, actually, I could see them adding that. Not like a lot of damage, but just enough damage to cancel a Blink Dagger. I could see it. It's not too far-fetched.
Yeah, I'm down. I love that idea. People who are set stealth and have a Blink Dagger. Yeah, I like that idea. Get rid of those guys.
Oh, they're going to jump in toward the Puck. Blink Dragon Tail. I mean, Dragon Tail does have a projectile now, so it is at least somewhat dodgeable. But, yeah, You gotta be some sort of madman to be able to dodge that just a little bit too fast. But the rest of the Dragon Form DK will seal the deal on this bottom T2. Alchemist, though, still farming and still is running around unopposed. Travels next item and is up. Again, the rest of his teammates are kind of working on a budget here. This Puck is fairly poor. This Visage, Medallion into Midas. This is not really what we see coming out from a lot of Visages, but he still has Familiars, still pushing that level 12. So he's not doing terribly.
I mean, it's a great item on him. The Medallion into the Solar Crest it's great, and I don't know. He is really poor and really far behind. But maybe he gets a value Ags at like 30 minutes from Alk, you know.
There's some super high quality Aghanim Scepter upgrades here for SG. Zul's gonna charge into Theo. Impale, of course, will be there. Hey, they have Dust this time. Unfortunately, he doesn't do anything, so that one doesn't work out quite as well as they would like. But yeah, probably. Well, Ags Nyx is not too
DK's still chasing. He's still chasing top. DK on this Nyx. Nah, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, they have to tend to this mid lane. Benno with Plague Wards pushing in Red Moon. Looking for someone to kill or a good creep to take. Mud Golem is the first thing he sees. He'll join the Venomancer in pushing. Bottom lane ADR can kill creep waves very quickly, but Alchemist without any sort of damage just yet outside this Radiance. Oh, they're actually going to teleport the Alchemist, or try to in the mid lane. They fail as he teleported into a 1 health creep. And now with the Nightmare on the Venno, the grip onto the Enchantress, they will take down the Venomancer. Grip's still working, but there's no damage being dealt to Red Moon because of the maxed out sprites. And now the turnaround onto Bardinho. Does have another Brain Sap. Red Moon doesn't have enough mana to continue this chase. Alchemist now coming in from the south, already used that concoction. So is just here for any potential cleanup, of which there is none. Is actually going to see Zul. He's going to charge him immediately instead of charging towards the bottom lane. Theo is in Impale range. And he will wait a little bit too long. The tower will still be held there by the SG side. And again, Alchemist showing off he has those travels is still getting a pretty scary amount of farm. Though we have seen more oppressive Alchemist games. They are certainly pressuring his side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's Manta style for him next. Once that comes online, the split push will be even more troublesome. I mean, tower advantage though, I'm still strongly with Team Unknown, but they do need to think about, you know, taking that last tower, maybe securing a Roshan, going for the high ground. You know, 19 minutes. Still, I mean, I don't think Alchemist is really going to be out of control, but until that 35 minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, the Alchemist at that point can do some pretty serious split push, which is what we saw in the bottom lane. But as far as actually getting involved in these fights, like, you're talking about killing off an Enchantress, who is, again, untouchable. So that's not going to be happening from the Alk. You're talking about, well, killing off a Coddle, who's trying to defend top lane. He's dead. But also killing off a DK, like, he has 1 million armor. These are not easy targets for an Alchemist, and the rest of his allies, again, don't really have all that much burst right now, so the Alchemist is going to need just a little bit more farm than he ordinarily would need to go up against these particular heroes. This tower, though, will be at least attempted. Familiars overhead. One will fall. Zul will get a little bit too far out, but will be fine, as they do catch the Puck on the east side. He has an orb, and will dodge the Breathe Fire. Now two-man coil. And they actually burst down this DK. Lots of damage. Is it enough with the right clicks? It should be. Yes, they'll take him down. And now grip the Enchantress. No one is here to cancel it. They'll focus down Zul. Now everyone can focus down the Ench, and they'll take down 3. And ADR with right clicks, Radiance is actually going to end up with all 3 last hits. So Alchemist is swimming in the dough off of that one. Just like that, the momentum of Unknown has stopped. And SG show up big time for that fight.
Just a casual extra 3k for Alchemist.
Just immediately spent it on Manta style stuff. Yeah. Just a little bit off of that ultimate orb to finish. I mean, that's just what happens when Puck is able to get a coil and all of SG are actually there to fight. The Visage in super close quarters gets incredibly strong, even with the low level of Soul Assumption. Just the fact that so much damage is being dealt means that bar fills instantly. drop nukes left and right, and that was also like the perfect set of events. Kill off DK first, and then grip the Enchantress, just to make sure that she's not able to sit there and do the damage, because she does do a lot of damage. Level 2 Imp with the Dragon Lance is substantial. And top lane Leposa, phase shift into Blink is up. DK trying for the Breathe Fire. Very ambitious. We got Theo still looking for some targets. Bottom lane is going to be pushed by the Alk. He does have the illusions up. They do see Zul arriving towards the bottom lane with the Venomancer. Can they make a play here? In 7 seconds, there's a chance because they'll have a grip, but it's going to be a little bit thin doing this into a tier 2 tower.
Well, the gem picked up on Visage as well.
And a pipe build-up. And a target. The puck completely whiffs the silence again. They have familiar stuns to cancel his TP. There's one, there's two. Alchemist is going to jump in on the birds. Oh my god, he had 0.5 seconds until that concoction stunned him. We'll call that Ihan timing coming out from ADR, and is going to seal the deal on the DK. Okay, yeah, ADR at this point is kind of getting out of control, but they will find Theo in their own jungle. Just a random couple sentries being placed, and we'll see him and kill him off. But DK for Nyx, SG are going to be completely fine with that, especially since Bardinho also will survive the charge. Ooh, he's actually building Shadow Blade on the Alchemist. This used to be like the go-to Alchemist build way back when. You'd start shaking the potion, and then hit him out of invis, throw the potion, and then just start wrecking. It's pretty sick for getting initiations off.
It's particularly good if you go Silver Edge, so you can take off Enchantress's passive, take off DK's passive, and take off Spirit Breaker's passive with the opening hit. And then pop his stun. You know, you charge it, you do the right click to break, and then you throw the stun.
It does quite a bit of damage. Although, I'm pretty sure if you issue an attack command on Enchantress out of invis, it's still slowed, because you get untouchabled before you actually apply the break.
I think that's correct, so that should be interesting to see how it goes. But if he has it, then his allies won't be slowed, but then not really anybody on his team is going to right click her down.
Well, if the Enchantress is staying still, then he could just take all day just swinging down that sword, as long as it lands, right? That's all you need is just that one hit.
Yeah, the first one, and then that breaks her ability. Then you mana style yourself to remove the untouchable from you, and then you murder her in 2 seconds.
Yeah, she's going to be stunned anyway, because that entire combo is built with the assumption that you have Unstable Concoction armed and ready. Although ADR is being charged right now, Concoction will be thrown out. Cancel the stun. Nether Strike in range will be canceled. ADR is going to start hiding in the trees. Radiance turned off, but the Coddle is here with full vision thanks to that Axe. He does have enough mana to get his ultimate off, but his backup, where is it? It's here in the Nightmare onto the Enchantress. Radiance turned off means that she will sleep for a little while longer, but the Bane will get killed off in the end. Great coil in the middle of things. ADR going to turn it around with that Radiance Burn, trying to do it all himself. Familiar's overhead as well. Finally, the Visage is going to arrive in force, trying to go for this DK. ADR will lose his ultimate, and with the right clicks from the Enchantress, it'll be just enough to get that kill. But now Visage, he has another Soul Assumption. He has a target in the Spirit Breaker. No, one more blink forward from the puck will seal the deal there. As SG are rotating in with these familiars, with Theo out of invis. They will try to burst down this Enchantress, but Untouchable is so good. Soul Assumption is not gonna do it. Heals from Illuminate. It is still daytime. Orb flying through, and Red Moon will survive. That's why they need that Silver Edge, man. For exactly that reason. Theo's still spotted. He is going to stun himself, or at least stop moving. And that is probably going to mean his demise. And yes, it will. Aghanim Scepter on the Coddle. He straight rushed it. We've seen faster, but this is exactly what it lets you do. Just do some incredible things with vision, getting them the Nyx and the Alchemist, just because they had that full flying vision.
Yeah, man, that was an amazing team fight. Like, it just went on for so long. Yeah, but I mean, DK falling early kind of meant that they weren't able to capitalize upon anything there anyway. And I mean, that Enchantress run though, it just shows how strong the hero is. And yeah, that Silver Edge, it needs to be online ASAP.
That was also ADR kind of playing a little bit too aggro ahead of his allies. And Alchemists, if you're going to be aggroed like that, you got to make sure you have either your allies behind you or Mantis Style at the ready, in which case he had neither. So it was the golden opportunity there for Unknown. They'll try to set up for Roche, but immediately an orb's going to fly in and scout it. And Alchemist is getting pretty darn close now to that Silver Edge. I mean, ordinarily I would say Hero's pretty far away when they're at 1300 out of their ultimate orb, but this is Alchemist we're talking here. It's gonna Mantis Style split off the stun, keep on walking. Illusion with Radiance farm. These illusions no longer get Greevil's Greed. That was changed in some recent patch. I don't know which one, but it was kind of recent. But still, I mean, if it's good enough for Naga Siren, right? It's good enough for Alk. And there's his Silver Edge.
Middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
The rest, the Unknown side with the full flying vision, are going to find the Visage. He is really, really tanky, though. They will grind through his Gravekeeper's Cloak with the ultimate from Zul. Get the kill there, and actually there's a double damage rune on the DK. There is a Shrine here, so Unknown should look to disengage. One familiar stun, second familiar stun, onto the DK as Alchemist is going to tear him a new one. Still, I think has that break available just in case. He's not used it to cancel that DK's passive, and they will think about going for that Coddle, but instead settle for Red Moon in the back. And there was a break there for sure, because she just got way too much damage dealt to her, that Enchantress. A pretty nice 2-for-1 for SG, and ADR is about ready to whoop some ass. Like, this is all the Alchemist really needs. He's opted in to go for a rather unorthodox build with the Silver Edge, but for sure it is the right build, and it is going to set up for a nice Roshan for SG Esports. It's a double life on the Alchemist. Unless we have a big play here for Unknown, but unfortunately it is Darkness at the worst time for the Coddle. Still a blast will fly in. It'll hit the familiars, I guess. ADR is going to pump himself up with some roids and get right back to it. Orb will fly through, see the Coddle. Leposa going to try to drive them all away. With the Lincoln Sphere, he'll be safe, and ADR does chuck in a potion onto the Spirit Breaker. Chainstone with the Impale is there. Look at the right clicks. With another coil, they'll take down 2. Leave Roshan to a little bit later. Enchantress and DK are both back, but Enchantress is no longer a hero that SG cannot deal with because they have that Silver Edge, they have the double life. That's a clean, clean win for SG. Oh, they actually have found the puck off to the side. Gem is on the deck, but ADR is going to teleport into the creep wave and just beat down that DK. Radiance Burn will take him down. Did they get the gem on the Enchantress? Does it even matter? There is no more Silver Edge from the Alchemist, so they can't kill her. They'll try. That did no damage. They have... Oh, Nightmare will dodge the Impale. Sorry, immediately. With no Silver Edge, it's not really worth their time. ADR doesn't have a travel out of here. There's no Spirit Breaker, no vision, so he will still get out. Looks like the gem will, in the end, be maintained by Unknown. But SG are showing their Alk off to be rather unstoppable.
Yeah, I think Dragon Knight at this point is probably going to want his BKB as soon as possible. He's queued up, I think it's Assault Cuirass. But no, he's got his BKB, he's already started building his overhaul. But yeah, no, that's... I mean, his major problem whenever he's going into these fights now is he's just getting handled left, right and centre by Puck and Bane and whatnot. So once he picks up that BKB, might get a slight resurgence for Team Unknown here.
You see the DK like sitting right in the middle of the net worth chart. It's a pretty big reason why DK is not picked up all that often, is simply because he lacks the ability to get a lot of farm. He's even gone for a Maelstrom. Yeah, he's died quite a few times in the past couple of minutes, and that's bad for any hero, but this is even a game where they were able to take down all the towers, all the outer towers for SG, and still the DK, not with any momentum to keep up his farm, is eventually going to start falling further and further behind, I would imagine, unless he starts surviving these engagements. So just inherently this hero, a little bit all in. His late game, if he is able to get farm, is so powerful. Like, there's nothing more terrifying than a late game DK 6 slotted, but how often does he actually get to that stage? Like, very, very rarely. And it looks like SG with this Aegis on ADR are looking to go for a little bit of an aggro play here. They will see Red Moon up on the high ground. ADR only sees the tower. They do coil only onto the Coddle. He's going to force half himself out, and oh no, Enchantress walks in. She is going to get broken and then very quickly dealt with. The Poison Nova lands on pretty much everybody, but to what end? There's a grip on the Spirit Breaker, and Bane actually gets pushed out thanks to the Coddle, making it an even safer grip that they can't cancel. They take down the tower, and with the poison, they will take down one life of the Alk. But everyone else will be fine. This is a pipe on the Visage, so Insight Aura doing quite a bit survivability-wise for SG. They'll fall back, happy with their spoils.
Yeah, I mean, 2 for 1 Aegis life. Not bad. We got mid tower as well. So just kind of chipping away at these towers here. I don't know if we'll see a high ground push before that top tower goes down. I think everyone just wants to play it by the numbers. Dragon Knight though is getting real close to that BKB.
As great as BKB is though, like Alchemist's right click damage is pretty substantial right now. So I mean, it'll keep him safer obviously, but will it keep him safe? I'm not entirely convinced. I mean, keeping yourself from dying is one thing. Being able to turn around and kill off this Alchemist is quite another. 3k HP now with the fresh Octarine in his inventory. We have Leposa with an Invis Rune pushing forward. Now, going up against the Assassin Unknown should have some coverage here with sentries. There isn't any. The rest of the team coming in, at least Theo's coming in Invis with the gem at the ready as well. And the DK in the front. That's a hero you're more than happy to drop a coil onto, or 2 on the back if you can see them, but Leposa doesn't quite have the vision that we have, that the Coddle has. It is another daytime, so they won't find their opening. We'll have to fall back. But, I mean, again, this Alchemist is looking pretty darn unkillable at this stage. Now gonna start building up those Ags, and with the exception of Bane, I guess, Ags on all these heroes at SG, pretty darn potent.
Yep, absolutely. Nyx gets his little burrow underground thing. Pux is better Dream Coil. Yeah. Visage gets an extra bird.
And Bane gets the Brain Sap. I mean, it's pretty good up against like high armor or like high magic resistance heroes because it's a low cooldown pure nuke. Like, you're not gonna say no. Theo though, with his Vendetta, is going to spot out everyone. Immediately the DK is going to jump forward, but they're going to try to focus down onto the Venomancer instead. ADR is kind of getting control, but now we'll find an opening onto the Enchantress and very quickly do her. In the meantime, the DK jumped in too far, gets gripped, and Zul as well will fall. You cannot go in there. Even a BKB wouldn't have helped him in that scenario. Venomancer now torn to shreds. Does get a Nova off, but again, Hype Insight Aura will keep them alive and kicking. Barely any damage done to these SG heroes as Unknown walk into the biggest trap in the world. And now it's up to Coddle to single-handedly hold his base. None of his allies have buyback, and at least 2 of these lanes are going to be pushed. Both lanes that are lacking a tier 2.
This is racks. 2 sets of racks in game, probably for sure. GG, I would think. When he bought Ares BKB, he sacrificed his buyback.
Well, SG Esports will take the bottom set. ADR will shrug off those Illuminates. Puck gets bumped back into the fountain, actually. He has a phase shift, he has a blink, and looks like he should be fine here. He'll get out, unless there's a charge, but even if it was to be used, it's Lincoln Sphere, so there's that. 2 racks, as you said, are going to fall here. This 3rd set is protected by a tier 2. Even if they don't get this range racks, who cares? And now SG, a 28k net worth lead. Visage somehow ending up at 2nd place in the net worth. Assault Cuirass, all these utility armor survivability items from him. This game is looking pretty difficult for Unknown. Like, you gotta make sure that they have some sort of cancel for that grip, but Dragon Tail is like the only good answer. And most likely, the Bane is gonna be aiming to use that grip on the DK, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna be done. Spirit Breaker has to find a good charge angle or another strike.
I don't know, maybe Vino or Enchantress picks up a Lincoln Sphere, and then, you know, just casts it on DK when he initiates with his BKB up. I don't know.
That's a possibility, but still, there's Enfeeble on the Bane. Like, all of Bane's target.
Pops it off. Yeah.
That does seem like it's probably like the most likely scenario.
The other thing would be a Lotus Orb, again, on the Vino or the Spirit Breaker.
The Enchantress is getting a Lotus right now, actually.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good on her, because she's getting nuked in one go, so... And it comes with a purge as well, so you know, gives you a little bit extra escapability, more armor. Not sure how much that helps against like. I mean, she already has a hood as well.
Oh, ADR has his first Ags. Is going to feed it over towards the Visage. So, got more birds in the sky. Bardino is going to find that DK. Close is here as well, vision-wise. There's not much here for the Dire, but they're still going to commit the grip onto the DK. Nice BKB, bruh. He's dead.
Yeah.
Ooh, Soul Assumption is also splitted. You know, I don't know if you saw that. He does have that talent. So they're going to find the Coddle. It is not daytime, but he's still pretty valuable as far as counter push is concerned. That's 3 dead. Spearbreaker will buy back. Oh, Enchantress is going to get caught with the Nightmare. Triple Familiars on her dome with the break, and she's dead. Oh my god. A Lotus Orb wouldn't have helped you there. Like, it's just too much damage. GG is called, and SG Esports, they, in a 2-0 series, smash Unknown. Pretty damn convincing.
Yeah, I mean, the Unknown guys, they managed to kind of secure their time, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they won. Maybe a draw on mid. And then it's like, well, okay, what now? You take the outer towers. They took all the outer towers, and then they were defeated by SG Esports at their tier 2 mid tower. And then the next fight they lost, and then the next fight they lost, and then, I mean, it just was a slippery slope downhill, while I think, what was Alchemist was picking up 3k gold from team fights at a time?
Yeah, it was that one fight where it was the Dire Secret Shop fight. That one where they just got completely wrecked is gonna really hurt Unknown, because when you run an Enchantress core, a DK core, and a Venomancer, like, you're entirely bound by how much momentum you have. You gotta keep taking towers, you gotta keep winning team fights, getting pickoffs. If you ever stop and give the enemies that gold, because you're accelerated because of those towers that you've taken, like, suddenly you lose all your momentum and suddenly things are just looking bad. But guys, this is going to be the end of the first series of the day. We have another one coming up, jeez, an hour and 10 minutes. Worse to have these breaks, man. These things suck. But we're going to be covering Lucchini versus Gathers. Opted for that one over U3 versus Midas Club Youth. I don't know if that was the right decision, but I love me some Lucchini, so I'm going to be biased there and just make that call. Guys, I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by General Jivicus. You guys enjoy the cast. Be sure to follow us at Mike Loris for myself, at General Jivicus. It's in the title, because that may not be the easiest for some of you. But we'll see you again in about an hour for the next best of 3. Unless we start early, in which case I'll let you guys know.